It's no secret that I'm a noob with a YouTube channel, mostly about crying and complaining about everyone, including myself, but even though all that is true, I am not a stranger to being real with you guys, or myself for that matter. So in this video, we'll talk about the hard truth that newer free-to-plays and low to mid-tier spenders should hear before making the same mistakes that I made, or at least stop them in their tracks before they start diving into a certain mental that won't be good for their accounts in the long run. Starting off with, stop trying to be a rally or garrison lead. It's way too expensive and not worth it at all. Not only do you need top tier gear, commanders, and armaments, but you also need consistent crystal tech every KVK to keep up with whales, because when you rally your garrison, you're up against players with top tier accounts, right? So when you're attempting to do that and you're not up to par with a whale, you're indirectly sacrificing your allies' troops in a way that wasn't really necessary for anyone. Could you do it and get away with it? Yes, but trust me, it's still not worth it. You bear the burden and responsibility of something that is not fun. You want to open field fight and the flags in KVK just connected with the enemies? Well then make sure your best gear is on your garrison or rally just in case they need you as a backup plan or something, and make sure you focus on that as your priority so that you can be on time when your kingdom needs you rather than focusing on the field. And then if you have a job or family, your kingdom might have needed you at that time and you're not there because of life, which is understandable, so then what do they do now? And then on top of all of that, it's completely obvious that rally and garrison commanders don't perform that well on the field, which is actually the fun way to gain KP. You actually end up hurting your account more by spending legendary sculptures on commanders that won't trade as well on the field if your goal was always to get as much KP as possible for your account. Think about it, what is there to gain for you if you become a rally or garrison lead? Not much if we're being honest. You do get put on blast though in Lost Kingdom chat every time you take a bad trade because people love boasting about their cool reports, and your alliance knows when you're trading bad because they're watching the same reports as you and their troops are dying just like yours. So please, if you want to be a rally or garrison lead, just know that you're gonna have to spend heavy and not get that much out of it. It's never worth maxing commanders if you're thinking, maybe they'll let me try one of these days. The second thing is, I don't recommend any new players main one troop type alone. It used to be cool and practical to focus on one troop type, but now there are so many commanders that do so many cool things, and now we have a lot of commanders that also do AoE as well. They're just not all in one troop type. The best thing to do is get the best commanders of each troop type for the field instead, because I promise you, it's going to pay out. It really will. I'm already moving away from being an infantry main because I now realize all the KP that I could have gotten had I just done one march of infantry, archers, and cavalry, and if I could go back I would have definitely been more diverse with my marches, but these decisions are permanent, so this is where I'm at now. The third thing is to not refine your legendary gear the moment you get your first legendary set. So let's say you finally completed a whole legendary set, why would you start wasting gems and time gathering blueprints for something that you already crafted? It's not worth using all those blueprints and materials on just a maybe, and on top of that, it's only 30% of extra stats on one single piece of equipment. In my awesome opinion, I would just say start crafting a new set of brand new legendary equipment on whatever your second march is going to be, because it's going to suck to fail a refinement multiple times and only get 30% of extra stats when you could have gotten another piece of equipment at 100% and the chance to get it refined on its first craft. And also to add to that, in my opinion, after you finish your first set, don't craft legendary accessories right after either until you finish the first sets of amount of marches that you plan to use. I truly don't believe that any accessory is more important than any piece of equipment that goes on the commander's body. That's just me though. In my head, you can craft two equipment pieces, the head and the weapon, for the same price of an accessory, material wise at least. So yeah, I would say at least try to get 3 sets of gear, one for cavalry, infantry, and archers, or even ranged if you wanted, and then you can think about getting accessories and then refining. Next is, if you don't have expertise commanders, or at least 2 commanders with 3 max skills, then don't try to fight with T5. Same thing goes for gear. If you have a purple crit set or less, I really don't think you should be aiming to unlock T5 or even use them on the field. You're just going to end up getting wrecked and spending a huge amount of gold and other resources when you did not have to. It's not worth draining yourself constantly because your march isn't even at the basic standard level for open field fighting. You're better off using T4 units until you can have a strong march that would be worthy of using T5. Save those gems either for Holy Knight's treasure event, More Than Gems, or the Wheel of Fortune event, because if you don't, you're just feeding the enemy kingdoms in KVK and you're going to be burned out way sooner in KVK had you just used T4. Always remember that field presence is very important for everyone on your team. Feel free to fight back in the comments. It's better for the community if the nerds speak up when I'm wrong. I doubt it, but I just think that what I'm saying is true, but that's it for the video. Later.